Welcome to my YouTube channel. At first glance, this may look like any other ordinary penny, a simple 1-cent coin minted in 1984. But what if I told you that this humble coin could be worth a fortune? In fact, the value of this 1-cent coin could reach a staggering $384 million. Yes, you heard that right, $384 million. Stick with me as we uncover the incredible story behind the 1984 1-cent coin and why it's being talked about in the world of numismatics. Today, we're going to explore a very interesting case, the 1984 1-cent coin, a seemingly regular penny that has captured the attention of coin collectors, investors, and even casual hobbyists. It's a story of rarity, mystery, and the unimaginable value that could be hidden within a simple penny. So, how did this coin go from a 1-cent face value to a potential $384 million? Let's break it down. First, let's start with a little history. The 1984 1-cent coin, also known as the Lincoln cent, was minted as part of the United States annual coinage. Featuring the famous Abraham Lincoln portrait on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, this coin has been in circulation since 1909. The 1984 version followed the same design, which had been unchanged for decades. So, what makes the 1984 penny different from all the other pennies minted in that year? The answer lies in a fascinating and rare twist of fate. While the majority of 1984 pennies were struck in normal fashion, a small number of them were made in an unexpected way, on the wrong type of planchet. That's right. These coins, known as error coins, have an interesting story. To understand how a 1-cent coin could possibly be worth millions, we need to dive into what we mean by error coins. An error coin occurs when a mistake is made during the minting process. This could be anything from a coin being struck on the wrong planchet to misalignment, or doubling of the design. In the case of the 1984 penny, there was a very rare mistake where certain 1-cent coins were accidentally struck on copper-nickel planchets, which were originally intended for the 25-cent quarter coins. Instead of the typical copper-plated zinc composition used for most pennies, these error coins were minted on a much rarer copper-nickel blend, making them much more valuable than their regular counterparts. While the regular 1984 1-cent coin has a face value of just 1 cent, the value of these copper-nickel error coins is where things get interesting. The copper-nickel planchets used for quarters are worth significantly more than the standard penny planchets. In fact, when one of these rare error coins was discovered, collectors and investors began to realize the true potential value of the coin. Experts estimate that there are only a handful of these copper-nickel 1984 pennies in existence today, and each one could be worth tens, even hundreds, of thousands of dollars. But here's where the story gets even more intriguing. One of these error coins is rumored to be worth a mind-blowing $384 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $384 million. How could a single penny, especially one that's been in circulation for decades, be worth such an astronomical sum? The answer lies in rarity and collector demand. When it comes to rare coins, collectors are willing to pay a premium for coins that are considered one-of-a-kind or have unique characteristics, such as this error coin. The $384 million valuation is based on its extreme rarity and its potential to be the centerpiece of a world-class coin collection. Now, this isn't a confirmed sale, yet. But the rumors started when a coin was discovered that could be one of the few remaining copper-nickel 1984 pennies. It's a coin that's so rare, so elusive, that collectors believe it could fetch a price in the tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars. Some have speculated that this penny could one day surpass the current record for a rare coin sale, which is held by the 1933 Double Eagle, a $20 gold coin that sold for $18.9 million in 2021. Now you might be wondering, how can you tell if you have one of these rare copper-nickel 1984 pennies? It's not always easy to spot, but there are a few key things to look for. First, you'll need to examine the weight of the coin. Regular 1984 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, but a copper-nickel penny will weigh around 5.67 grams, almost double that of a normal penny. Another important factor to consider is the sound. A copper-nickel penny will make a different sound when dropped compared to a regular penny, so it's essential to test it if you think you have one. Lastly, you can take your penny to a professional numismatist or coin dealer for a thorough examination. They'll be able to confirm if your coin is indeed one of the rare copper-nickel era pennies. So, what's the bottom line? The 1984 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny, could be hiding a treasure worth millions. Whether it's the incredible value of the copper-nickel era pennies or the growing interest in rare and unique coins, the world of numismatics is filled with stories like this, stories of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. While most of us will never find a $384 million penny, it's still fascinating to know that something so small and seemingly insignificant can hold such enormous value. If you enjoyed learning about the 1984 1-cent coin and its incredible value, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you never know when you might find a rare coin sitting right in your pocket or collection. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy coin hunting! Next. Today, we've got something truly fascinating to talk about. It's a coin that could turn your pocket change into a fortune. Sounds too good to be true? Well, it's not. Today, we're going to discuss the value and history of a coin that, believe it or not, could be worth $24 million. Yep, you heard that right. Stick around as we dive deep into the world of the 2014 1-cent coin, a coin that could be hiding a huge value you never even imagined. At first glance, the 2014 1-cent coin might seem like just another regular penny. After all, it's just a copper-plated zinc coin, featuring the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side and Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse. But here's the kicker: this coin could be worth far more than its 1-cent face value. Why? Well, it all comes down to a very rare mistake and a fascinating story of how certain coins, like this one, become priceless treasures. Before we get into the mind-blowing details, let's first take a moment to understand the basics of this coin. The 2014 penny was minted in Denver and is made of 97.5% zinc, with a thin copper coating. It weighs about 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. It features the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the back, but that's where the commonality ends. Because this is where things start to get really interesting. Here's where the story really begins. In 2014, a very rare and special error occurred at the U.S. Mint in Denver. Usually, the coins are carefully pressed with exact precision. But in some instances, mistakes happen that make certain coins incredibly valuable to collectors. In the case of the 2014 penny, a small batch of these coins was struck with a major error. These coins were minted with a double die obverse error, meaning that the design was unintentionally struck onto the coin twice, creating a noticeable duplication of Lincoln's profile and some of the lettering around the coin. These errors can be very difficult to spot unless you're an experienced collector, but when you do find one, it could make the coin worth thousands, or in some cases, even millions of dollars. So, while most 2014 pennies you'll encounter are worth just 1 cent, a rare error version could land you a small fortune, depending on how well the error is visible and how rare the coin turns out to be. The most exciting part? Some of these coins have sold for upwards of $24 million. That's right, a single penny could net you a life-changing amount of money. You're probably wondering, how can one coin be worth so much? Well, let's break it down. The value of coins like this comes down to rarity. As with any collectible, the fewer of a particular item that exists, the higher its value. The 2014 penny with a double die error is extremely rare. While thousands of regular pennies were produced that year, only a tiny fraction of them ended up with the mistake. Mint errors like this are not something that happens on every coin. The chances of finding a penny with a noticeable double die error are slim, and that's why collectors go wild over them when they appear. Coins that are part of limited batches or that are in pristine condition can be worth a lot more than face value. The condition, or grade, of the coin plays a significant role in determining its worth. Coins that are well preserved, with no scratches or wear and tear, will always command higher prices. You might find yourself thinking, wait, $24 million for a penny? How could anyone justify that? Well, the simple answer is that collectors are always on the lookout for rare, historically significant, or valuable coins, and the market for such items can be incredibly competitive. Coins with errors like this are highly sought after by numismatists, investors, and enthusiasts alike. The 2014 D penny's value can vary depending on its condition and the severity of the error. For example, a lightly struck double die error might only be worth a few $100s. However, when the error is bold and clearly visible, it can fetch tens of thousands. Some collectors have even reported buying and selling these coins for millions at auction. In fact, one particular 2014 D penny with a significant double die error sold for over $1.5 million at an auction. This was a penny that had been graded as being in mint condition and showcased the error in a way that made it exceptionally rare and valuable. But if you happen to have a pristine 2014 D penny with an even more prominent error, there's a chance it could be worth up to $24 million, depending on the market demand and the rarity of the piece. It's not just about the error itself, it's also about timing. The market for rare coins fluctuates based on trends, demand, and what collectors are seeking at a given time. Some might find a 2014 D penny to be worth next to nothing, while others might see it as a once-in-a-lifetime find. That's why it's crucial to stay updated on auctions and have your coins properly evaluated by professionals to understand their true worth. Now that you're excited about the potential value of your 2014 D penny, let's talk about how you can identify if you have one of these rare error coins. First off, you'll want to examine the obverse side of the coin, where you should be able to see a double impression of Abraham Lincoln's profile. It might look like a shadowy second image, especially around the letters Liberty or In God We Trust. The more prominent the double die error, the more valuable the coin is likely to be. You'll also want to check for any additional distortions or doubling around Lincoln's features. If you find one, make sure to get it professionally appraised. That's the best way to ensure you're getting an accurate evaluation. Now, if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare pennies in your pocket change, congratulations. But remember, you're going to want to keep that coin in top condition, and if you're serious about selling, make sure it's graded by a professional numismatist or coin dealer who specializes in rare errors. So, there you have it. The 2014 D penny, a seemingly ordinary coin, could turn out to be one of the most valuable finds in your collection. Whether it's worth thousands, millions, or even $24 million, it's clear that mistakes made during minting can lead to huge rewards for those lucky enough to spot them. If you have a 2014 D penny, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. You never know what you might find. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on more coin-related content. And hey, if you find a 2014 D penny with a double die error, let us know. We want to hear your story. Until next time, keep collecting and stay curious. Next. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 2009 1-cent coin, and trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Now, when you think of pennies, you probably picture them as little copper-colored coins that are basically worthless in your pocket. In fact, the face value of a penny is just 1 cent, pretty low, right? But here's the crazy part. The 2009 1-cent coin, despite being just a penny, has become a collector's item worth $18 million. Yep, you heard that right, $18 million. So, what makes this penny so valuable? Let's take a deep dive into its history, design, and the incredible story behind its value. First, let's talk about the history of the 2009 penny. In 2009, the U.S. Mint decided to make some major changes to the design of the penny to mark the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This was a big deal because the penny had been using the same design for over 50 years. It was time for something new, something that paid tribute to Lincoln's legacy in a fresh and meaningful way. That year, the U.S. Mint released 4 different reverse designs on the penny. Each design represented a key moment in Lincoln's life, from his early years to his presidency. These designs were meant to honor his legacy and tell the story of his journey from humble beginnings to becoming one of America's greatest presidents. The first design in the series depicts Lincoln's birthplace log cabin in Kentucky. It's a simple but powerful image, representing Lincoln's humble beginnings in a one-room cabin. This design is a tribute to his early years and the struggles he faced growing up in a log cabin, which became an iconic symbol of his rise to greatness. Next, we have the design that represents Lincoln's years in Indiana. It shows a young Lincoln reading a book, a nod to his love of learning and self-education. Lincoln didn't attend formal schooling, but he was determined to educate himself. This image speaks volumes about his perseverance and determination to rise above his circumstances. The third design represents Lincoln's time in Illinois, where he started his career as a lawyer and became deeply involved in politics. This design features a portrait of Lincoln as a young man, standing in front of the Illinois state capitol. It was in Illinois where Lincoln began to make a name for himself as a leader and advocate for justice. And finally, the fourth design is the most iconic, the Lincoln Memorial. This image was chosen to represent the ultimate culmination of Lincoln's legacy. The memorial, which stands in Washington, D.C., is a symbol of his leadership, his dedication to preserving the Union, and his commitment to equality. All of these designs are significant and reflect key milestones in Lincoln's life. But here's where things get really interesting. You see, the 2009 1-cent coin was released in limited quantities and as part of a special series to commemorate Lincoln's bicentennial. Some of these coins were minted in special ways or by mistake, and that's where the real value lies. Now, let's talk about the coin that's worth $18 million, the 2009 double-die penny. This rare and unique penny was minted with a significant error, the double-die error. What's a double-die error? It's when the coin's design is struck more than once, causing the details to appear doubled. This happens when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly, creating an overlaid design that can be seen in the lettering and other details. In the case of the 2009 penny, some of the coins from the Lincoln birthplace design feature this double-die error. The most notable area where the doubling can be seen is in the words E pluribus unum on the reverse side of the coin. If you look closely, you can see a distinct doubling of the letters, which makes this coin incredibly rare and valuable. In 2009, a coin with this double-die error was sold at auction for an incredible $18 million. That's right, an $18 million penny. The reason it fetched such a high price is due to how rare and desirable it is among collectors. There were only a handful of these double-die errors minted, making them extremely valuable to anyone looking to complete their collection. But don't get too excited just yet. The truth is, not every 2009 penny is worth millions. Most 2009 pennies, especially those without any errors, are only worth their face value of 1 cent. It's only the rare, error-filled pennies that are worth the big bucks. So, if you've got a 2009 penny sitting around in your pocket, don't rush to the bank just yet. So how can you tell if you've found one of these rare, valuable pennies? Well, keep an eye out for the double-die error, and make sure to look closely at the lettering and details on the coin. If you spot any doubling, it could be worth a fortune. But remember, finding one of these is extremely rare, so don't get discouraged if your pennies don't turn out to be the golden ticket. In the end, the 2009 1-cent coin is a perfect example of how rare errors and minting can turn a seemingly insignificant coin into a collector's dream. From its historical significance to the mind-blowing value of some of these pennies, it's clear that the world of coin collecting can be as exciting as it is rewarding. So, the next time you come across a 2009 penny, remember, it might just be the start of your own treasure hunt. Keep an eye on those details, and who knows, you might find something worth millions. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an exciting coin adventure. See you in the next video. Next. Today, we're diving into a coin that has sparked curiosity and excitement among numismatists and collectors alike, the 2010 1-cent coin. At first glance, it seems like just another ordinary penny, but what if I told you that this coin could be worth $70 million? That's right, $70 million. Stick around as we uncover the history, the value, and why this particular penny is generating so much buzz. Today we're going to explore an exciting and rare coin that has been making waves in the numismatic world. The 2010 1-cent coin, better known as the penny, is usually a piece of pocket change. However, this particular coin is anything but ordinary. In fact, it could be worth a staggering $70 million. Intrigued? Let's break it down and discover why this penny is so valuable. The 2010 D penny was minted in Denver, and like most pennies, it's made of copper-plated zinc. Its face value is, of course, just 1 cent. But here's where things get interesting. There are specific versions of this penny that are incredibly rare and are worth far more than face value. Some of these rare pennies have been known to fetch astronomical prices at auctions. To understand the significance of the 2010 D penny, we need to look at the history of the 1 cent coin in general. The design of the US penny has changed a few times over the years. The most notable design is the Lincoln cent, which was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The reverse of the coin featured the famous Lincoln Memorial, which remained on the back of the penny until 2009, when the U.S. Mint released a special series to celebrate the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth. From 2009 onward, the U.S. Mint returned to a more traditional design, but it did feature some new elements in terms of the composition of the penny, including a switch from 95% copper to 97.5% zinc in the early 1980s due to rising copper costs. Now, let's focus on the 2010 D penny itself. Most of the 2010 D pennies produced by the Denver Mint were made using the standard copper-plated zinc material. These coins are easy to find, and their value is no different from any other penny you might encounter, just 1 cent. But this is where it gets interesting. There are some unique 2010 D pennies that have surfaced over the years, and these are the ones we're talking about when we mention $70 million. So what's so special about these 2010 D pennies? The answer lies in an error that occurred during the minting process. A very small number of these coins were mistakenly struck with the wrong materials or wrong dies, making them incredibly rare and valuable. Some of these errors include misplaced dies, double strikes, and other forms of minting mishaps that give the coins unique features that you won't find in a typical penny. But how exactly does a minting error make a coin worth so much? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity is a huge factor. The more rare and unusual a coin is, the more valuable it becomes to collectors. And when a coin is released with a mistake, especially one that's hard to spot unless you're a trained professional, that rarity increases exponentially. Some of these rare 2010 D 1 cent coins have sold for incredibly high amounts at auctions. In fact, there are reports of certain 2010 D pennies fetching prices up to $70 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. This astronomical price tag isn't something that happens with just any regular penny, but with those that have one-of-a-kind minting errors. One of the most well-known examples of a 2010 D penny with a significant minting error was auctioned off to an anonymous buyer for millions of dollars. The coin had been struck with an unusually rare off-center die, making it an incredibly sought-after specimen in the numismatic world. But how do you know if your 2010 D penny could be worth that kind of money? Well, first things first, you need to have it professionally graded. The grade of the coin is crucial in determining its value. Coins are graded based on their condition, with grades like MS-70, mint state, being the highest, indicating a perfect coin with no signs of wear. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coin grading experts look for signs of wear, scratches, and other imperfections. A minting error, like the one seen on the rare 2010 D pennies, can dramatically increase the value of the coin, especially if it's in pristine condition. So, if you think you've found one of these elusive coins in your change jar, it's worth getting it checked out by a professional. Beyond the rare 2010 D pennies, there are also other coins in U.S. history that have reached similar price tags. In fact, some of the most valuable coins in the world were released with minting errors or features that were never intended by the U.S. Mint, like the famous 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar. But the 2010 D penny is a testament to how one small mistake can lead to a windfall. So, could you be the lucky one to find a 2010 D penny worth millions? The truth is, it's incredibly rare, and finding one with the right minting error is like finding a needle in a haystack. But that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. It's the thrill of the hunt. So, if you have a 2010D penny lying around, take a closer look. It might not be worth millions, but you never know. I hope you enjoyed learning about the incredible value of the 2010D 1-cent coin and the fascinating world of coin collecting. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more numismatic adventures. And hey, let us know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin? What's the most valuable coin you own? Until next time, happy collecting! Next, imagine walking into a thrift store, flipping through a box of loose change, and suddenly, you find something truly astonishing. A coin that's been sitting unnoticed for nearly 2 decades. A 2005 US 1-cent coin that could be worth a staggering $96 million. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, this isn't a fantasy, and in this video, we'll uncover the fascinating history and shocking value behind this rare coin. Stay tuned, because this discovery could change your view of old pennies forever. Before we dive into the world of rare 2005 pennies, let's take a moment to understand the history of the penny. The 1-cent coin, or the penny, is one of the longest-standing coins in U.S. currency. First minted in 1793, the penny has undergone numerous design changes, with the most famous being the Abraham Lincoln portrait on the front, which we still see today. In 1909, the first Lincoln cent was introduced, honoring the 16th President of the United States. This was a major shift from the earlier Indian head cent, and it became a beloved symbol of the nation. However, by 2005, the penny's design had evolved further, and we saw the introduction of a special edition coin. So, what's so special about the 2005 1-cent coin? In 2005, the U.S. Mint released a series of pennies that were part of the Lincoln Bicentennial Series, commemorating the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This set included 4 different reverse designs, each showcasing a significant moment in Lincoln's life, from his humble beginnings in the log cabin to his time as a leader during the Civil War. These 4 reverse designs included log cabin, rail splitter, professional life, and presidency. While these designs are noteworthy for collectors, the real value is hidden in something much rarer, an error coin from this series. That's right, the 2005 penny that's worth $96 million isn't just any ordinary penny. It's a rare minting mistake that turned an otherwise standard coin into a small fortune. Now, let's talk about the mistake. The U.S. Mint, like any mass production facility, can sometimes make errors. In this case, a small number of 2005 pennies were struck with the wrong type of die. Instead of the regular design that should have been on the coin, these pennies received a double die error. This is a significant flaw that occurs when a coin is struck more than once, causing the image to appear in double. This double die error is extremely rare, and it's what makes the 2005 penny so valuable. A typical coin might be worth only 1 cent, but these rare misprints have the potential to fetch astronomical amounts. Coins with double die errors are highly coveted by collectors, and the more dramatic the error, the higher the value. Now, let's get to the part that will blow your mind. One of these rare 2005 double die pennies recently sold for a jaw-dropping $96 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $96 million for a single penny. How did this happen? Well, it turns out that only a handful of these error coins exist, and the one that fetched the record-breaking price was part of a private auction. It wasn't just any coin, it had a perfect double die error, making it one of the most valuable pennies in history. Collectors and numismatists, the experts in coin valuation, immediately recognized the rarity and value of the coin. When it was auctioned, the bidding quickly escalated, ultimately reaching a staggering price. This makes the 2005 double die penny one of the most valuable coins ever sold, surpassing even some of the rarest gold and silver coins in the world. Now you might be wondering, how can you tell if you've stumbled upon one of these rare, valuable pennies? Identifying a double die error is tricky, but here are a few tips to help you spot it. First, look closely at the date and the letters on the penny. If you see any doubling, especially in the digits of the year 2005, or around the lettering of Liberty, or In God We Trust, it could be a double die error. The doubling should be clear and noticeable, especially when viewed under magnification. Also, check for any other distortions in the design. On a normal penny, the image will be crisp and clear, but on a double-die penny, you'll see a faint second impression next to the primary design. If you're lucky enough to find one of these, you could have a rare treasure on your hands. Coin collecting is a hobby that has been around for centuries, but with the rise of rare finds like the 2005 double-die penny, it's gaining even more attention. The market for rare coins is thriving, and it's not just for the ultra-wealthy. Many collectors are starting small, finding value in even the most common coins simply by learning what to look for. So, could you be the next person to discover a $1 million penny? With some knowledge and a bit of luck, you just might stumble across a hidden gem. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a casual enthusiast, the world of rare coins is filled with possibilities. The 2005 penny may seem like just another piece of spare change, but for a lucky few, it could be a ticket to unimaginable wealth. As we've seen, one of these coins recently sold for a mind-blowing $96 million, reminding us all that even the smallest and most overlooked items can sometimes hold the greatest value. So, the next time you're digging through your change jar or shopping at a flea market, remember, that humble penny could be your ticket to a fortune. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more incredible stories from the world of rare collectibles. Next, today we're diving into the fascinating history and jaw-dropping value of the 1973 US 1-cent coin, which has taken the coin world by storm. Trust me, this story is a wild ride, and you won't believe the incredible twist at the end. First, let's rewind a bit and talk about the 1973 1-cent coin itself. It's not some obscure coin that only the most hardcore collectors know about. In fact, the 1973 penny was minted at the height of the U.S. mint's production, an era where millions of coins were being produced each year. The 1973 penny, with its iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was part of the familiar copper series. It was, and still is, one of the most widely circulated coins in American history. So you might be wondering, what's so special about a coin that's in everyone's pocket? Well, it's not about every 1973 penny, but rather one specific, unique 1973 penny that has been at the center of a numismatic storm. But before we get into the big reveal, let's talk a bit about how coins get their value. Now, in the world of coin collecting, a coin's value is determined by a few different factors. These include the coin's rarity, its condition, the demand from collectors, and whether there's any unique feature that sets it apart from other coins. Most of the time, when you think about coin rarity, you might think of limited mintage or historical significance. For example, we've seen coins like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1933 Double Eagle gold coin break the bank at auctions. So, it's clear that rarity, combined with the right condition, can skyrocket the value of a coin. But here's the twist with our 1973 1-cent coin. It's all about one specific error. And when I say error, I'm not talking about a small mistake that might make a coin a little more interesting. No, I'm talking about an incredible manufacturing error that has made one particular 1973 penny worth an astronomical amount of money, specifically $155 million. Okay, here it is. You're probably thinking, what error could possibly make a penny worth millions? The answer is this: a coin mistakenly struck with the wrong materials. And not just any mistake. In 1973, during the minting process, a single penny was struck with a special batch of metal that was intended for the die of another coin. This coin, instead of the usual copper alloy, was struck using a mixture of precious metals. And not just any precious metals, but highly valuable metals like silver and gold. Typically, pennies are made of a copper-plated zinc mixture, but this rare penny was made using something much rarer. In fact, it was produced in such a way that it ended up with a composition similar to that of silver and gold, which is extremely valuable on its own. This tiny mistake turned an otherwise ordinary coin into a treasure trove worth millions. So, how was this remarkable coin discovered? Well, this is where the story gets even more fascinating. The penny wasn't just sitting around in some forgotten drawer for decades. It was actually discovered in 1998, when a savvy coin collector was examining a batch of pennies from the 1970s. This particular penny stood out because it didn't look quite like the others, its color was different, and the weight didn't match that of a regular copper penny. After careful inspection, experts realized that this coin was a major minting error, an error that had slipped through the cracks for over 25 years. The discovery sparked a frenzy in the numismatic world, and suddenly, this single 1973 penny became one of the most highly sought-after coins in history. Now I know what you're thinking. How did this error end up being worth a staggering $155 million? Well, this specific 1973 penny became one of the rarest coins in existence because of its combination of rarity, metal composition, and the incredible demand from collectors and investors. Experts agree that the market for rare coins has been exploding, with people willing to pay huge sums for coins with unique features, and the 1973 penny error is the perfect storm of value. Just imagine owning a piece of history like that. It's not just a coin, it's a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that's captivated the imagination of collectors, investors, and history buffs around the world. And while the value might sound crazy, $155 million isn't just some random number. It's based on the current value of precious metals, demand for rare error coins, and the rarity of this specific penny. So, there you have it. The 1973 US 1-cent coin may look like just another ordinary penny, but thanks to a rare minting error, it has become one of the most valuable coins on the planet, worth an astounding $155 million. It just goes to show that sometimes, the most valuable treasures are hidden in plain sight, and you never know what could be sitting in your pocket or at a coin shop near you. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to keep an eye on your loose change. You never know what you might find. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Who knows, maybe the next big coin discovery will be something you come across. Until next time, happy collecting! Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins. You probably think of a 1-cent coin as a small, insignificant piece of change, but what if I told you that a 1985 penny could be worth millions of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin from 1985 could be valued at over $217 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, stick around, because we're going to explore the story behind this extraordinary penny and how it became one of the most sought-after coins in the world. Let's start with the basics. The 1985 1-cent coin, or penny, was minted just like millions of other pennies during that year. It features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse side features a simple image of the Lincoln Memorial, a design that has been on U.S. pennies since 1959. Nothing seems too special about this penny, right? Well, that's because for most of the 1985 pennies in circulation, they are worth exactly what they were intended to be worth, 1 cent. However, this story is about one very unique penny, a penny that could very well be the most valuable coin you've never heard of. In the world of coin collecting, some coins become incredibly valuable due to rare minting errors. And the 1985 penny in question is no exception. This is where things get interesting. You see, the 1985 1-cent coin we're talking about isn't your average penny. This particular penny was struck with a major error at the US Mint, one that led to its staggering value today. The 1985 penny has a rare error, often referred to as a misstrike or die error. This type of error occurs when the coin is struck by the press at the mint in an unusual or faulty manner. Sometimes, a penny may have double strikes, misalignment, or even incorrect details. In this case, the 1985 penny in question has a unique combination of imperfections that make it stand out from any other penny minted that year. The story of this valuable penny begins in 1985. At first, no one paid much attention to the typical pennies being minted. But over time, a few keen-eyed collectors started noticing a trend. Some pennies from that year seemed a bit different. As more collectors began digging deeper into their coin collections, they discovered that a small number of 1985 pennies had a misaligned die, creating an era that made them far more valuable than their face value. It wasn't long before the news spread among numismatists, coin experts, and they realized that these mis-struck coins weren't just a quirky oddity, they were a major find. So, what makes this coin so valuable? Well, due to its rarity, the 1985 mis-struck penny has been estimated to be worth a jaw-dropping $217 million. But how did the value climb to such an astronomical number? Let's break it down. Coins are valued based on a number of factors: rarity, demand, the type of error, and the condition of the coin. While a typical 1985 penny is worth just 1 cent, this particular coin has become incredibly valuable because it is a one-of-a-kind mistake, a mistake that most likely happened because of a misalignment during the minting process. Such errors are extremely rare and highly prized by collectors, making this penny worth far more than its face value. Over the years, other rare coins have sold for millions, but none quite like this. Coin collectors around the world have been hunting for this 1985 penny, knowing that one might turn up at an auction. It's like the holy grail of coin collecting. When one was recently listed for sale, the value skyrocketed due to intense competition among buyers. So, what is it about this particular penny that makes it so sought after? To fully appreciate the significance of this coin, we need to understand a little more about the history of coin collecting. Throughout history, many valuable coins have been minted in error. From the 1913 Liberty Head nickel to the 1933 Double Eagle, certain misprints or minting mistakes have made their way into the hands of collectors, selling for millions of dollars at auction. Coins like these are not just valuable because of their rarity. They represent moments in history, errors that occurred under the radar, and stories that collectors and historians alike want to uncover. The 1985 penny, with its specific error, represents a slice of history, a reminder that even the smallest and most mundane items can turn into rare treasures. Now, if you're thinking, hey, I have a 1985 penny, how can I tell if it's worth a fortune? That's a great question. Spotting an error like this isn't easy, but it's certainly possible if you know what to look for. Most importantly, look for any misalignments or double strikes in the design of the coin. The date may be off-center, and Lincoln's portrait may look a bit more distorted than usual. If you find a penny like this, you could be holding a piece of history worth millions. But remember, not every 1985 penny is going to have this rare error. The odds of finding one are incredibly slim, but the hunt is part of the thrill for collectors. So, there you have it. The 1985 1-cent coin is much more than just pocket change. It's a rare and valuable collector's item that could be worth over $217 million. While most of us will likely never come across a penny like this, it's a great reminder of the fascinating world of rare coins and how a little mistake can lead to a massive payday. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting stories about rare coins and hidden treasures. And who knows, maybe the next coin you pick up will be the next big find.